What's up everyone, Sean Count Blaggerth here today with an album review, this time of the 2013 self-release of The Prophecy by Footage of a Yeti. If you are not familiar with Footage of a Yeti, they are a metalcore band hailing from New York City, and they play a very unique style of metalcore that I've not heard many bands play. Granted, metalcore is not my favorite genre. From what I've heard of the genre, these guys definitely have a very unique sound to them. And what I'm loving about these guys is on their first EP, Volume 1, they had a bunch, they just had four, not really a bunch, but they had four extremely well-written, catchy, simplistic songs, for the most part, simplistic. There's some moments on there that are just jaw-dropping with some of the solos, the speed of the chugs, and just overall how heavy the album is. There were moments that felt like it dragged on a little bit, and there were some moments that felt a little forced, but for the most part, that's a fantastic EP, and in my opinion, it's one of the best that the genre has to offer, and I've listened to it countless times. Now, with The Prophecy, they've kind of trimmed the fat, so to speak, and are going straight for the jugular. They're going for the crunch. They're going to crush, and that is what they do. This EP opens up with the track Death by Dab, and it's a intro track that is supposed to kind of ease you into the album. And once when you start to feel safe with the sound effects going on in the background, it comes in and it hits hard, and my God, it destroys when it comes in. It's a simple opener and it's very effective. Sometimes less is more, and this is a prime example of less being more. The way the vocals are, the way it's structured out, it feels like the beast has awakened, or the Yeti has awakened, and it's coming to just destroy, and the rest of the EP is the Yeti destroying the entire village that is beneath the mountain. Good God. Once when that track is over, it goes into Executioner, and from that point on, you are going to be pretty much pounded into submission by Footage of a Yeti. These guys are coming at you with riff after riff, followed by just absolutely crushing and unique breakdown after crushing and unique breakdown. It's a formula that on paper sounds boring, but the way it's executed is extremely well, and I feel like it's tastefully done. It's not too much on one side or the other. If you're more of a fan of the breakdowns, you won't feel like there's too many non-breakdown parts. If you don't like breakdowns, you might feel like there's a few too many, but that's because you don't really like that. But I feel like it's balanced out perfect because I like breakdowns and I like the faster, more traditional metal moments. So I really dig this a lot. Now, when it comes to the patterns, and it's one thing to write a breakdown, it's another thing to do it so it's interesting. And a lot of bands don't know how to make it interesting. And that usually just kind of falls into the department of let's keep a standard 4/4, let's keep it going throughout the whole thing, let's not change it, slow it down. No tempo changes, there's nothing new being thrown into the mix. These guys, they like to kind of screw with that. Once when you get used to one pattern, something will be thrown in completely different. And it's just a subtle change that makes all the difference. And that is what you will find a lot of on this EP, is these subtle changes that will make a huge difference on how catchy a track is. For example, normally you'd be sitting there listening to the breakdown and you think to yourself, this is pretty catchy, nothing new has been done, and it'll just kind of stay in your head. With this, they throw that one little extra note in, and it just screws the whole thing up, and it's awesome. When I say it screws it up, I mean it in a good way, like how Meshuggah does. Not comparing them to Meshuggah, but it's the same sort of principle of changing just one particular note one way or another, and I like it a lot. Another thing that's great is the usage of scales and ugly chords within breakdowns and other moments on this EP. I'm really loving the guitar sound. I'm loving how it's utilized, and the bass sound is very good. It's very thick and full, It's just very, very heavy sounding. It's crushing. It's great. The drums, they sound better than ever. I'm not too sure if these drums are sampled or if these were actually recorded, because if they were recorded, bravo. And if they're sampled, good job on making them sound human, because these sound great. Very punchy, a little clicky in some points, but nothing that's too much. Where I felt like where the first EP suffered was in the drum department. And when I say in the drum department, I mean in the sort of drum sound. I felt like it was way too clicky. Here, it's perfect. It sounds like a real drum kit. It sounds good. And I'm loving the sound of it. I love what the drummer does. Great performance. Vocal-wise, Mike is one hell of a vocalist, and his lows just crush and the highs just soar. And I love that. I'm normally not a fan of gang vocals, but when it comes in on the track Executioner, which is the first thing you hear when that comes in, it works really well. And I gotta say, good job on not destroying gang vocals, because that's a tough thing to do, in my opinion, to do it right. Overall, this is an EP that I highly recommend. If you're a fan of metalcore, or a fan of deathcore and stuff like that, you will love this. I feel like there's something for everyone on here that's a fan of those genres. And even if you're not really a big fan of that, I think you might like this. And if you're already a fan of Footage of a Yeti, you're going to like this. It's just a great, great EP. For a score, I'm feeling a strong 8.5 out of 10. Just overall fantastic EP. Link will be in the description to the Bandcamp and their Facebook page. You can listen to it on their Bandcamp, purchase it there. I highly recommend you purchase it. It's a great EP, and it's definitely worth your money. And if you get a chance to see them live, definitely do it. They are a great band to see live. And that's it, everyone. 8.5 out of 10. Support Footage of a Yeti. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And as always, keep it metal.